This is Indianapolis, the racing capital of the world. So it's only fitting that everyone who's anyone in racing comes here once a year for the PRI show. Thousands of exhibitors from all over the world come to show their wares, and tens of thousands of racers come to check it out. It's not open to the public, so let Motorhead Garage be your pit pass.
Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
Indianapolis is the world's center of racing, so naturally, the entire racing world converges on Indy for the annual PRI show. Over 500,000 square feet of race cars and racing gear on display and for sale. This show is so big that it fills the Indiana Convention Center and it spills over into the football stadium next door. That's way too much for me to cover by myself, so we called in Drag Racing Hall of Famer Ted Jones to help us out.
What's the most popular Chevrolet ever produced, folks? 1957 Chevy, part of the Tri-5 Chevys, 55, 56, 57. This is a beautiful example. This belongs to Jeff Lutz. He actually is on the street racing series you see on television. He built that just for that to happen. A really hot LS motor took the place of the original 283 that would have come in it. He's added some custom things like the steering wheel and a custom console and things like that. Of course, it's a beautiful black example of a 1957 Chevy. Take a look under the hood right there. He's got plenty of engine and with a built Be Cool radiator. And I understand this car is very fast on the street.
Here at the Performance Racing Industry Show, we know going fast is important, but looking good is just as important, and on your vehicle at home too. So when it comes to surface prep, you're talking grinding, sanding, finishing, polishing, the name you want to go to is Dynabrade. Now, Matthew Denny, you are the expert here at Dynabrade, but your products are so easy to use. And now it's even easier thanks to the DynaQuick. Tell me how this works. And we'll talk about the rest of the products as well, but the DynaQuick is something that's brand new. It's going to make things a lot easier for folks out there.
Correct. What we were looking at in the last 2 years was taking the features and benefits of our current compounds and polishes and see how if we could come up with a one-step system. And what the one-step system does is makes it very easy for anybody, like a do-it-yourself type of person that wants to polish their classic vehicle or their current everyday car, and they want to bring out the best possible finish of that paint job. The DynaQuick system that we came up with does that for them. It's really simple to easy to use.
How does it work?
It's a nice compound that actually does cutting, which would be like a paint correction, which is going to remove the scratches, not hide the scratches. That's important to realize. We're not hiding scratches here, we're removing them. So it's removing those paint defects, and it's actually bringing out the actual finish of the original paint job.
The DynaQuick is great for the DIYer, but Dynabrade also has a whole line of products. It may be geared more to the more seasoned DIYer or the professional. So let's start with the Dyna Zero. How does that work? What do I need that for?
Right, so on the different steps, we're looking at, I guess you can say, grit sequence. So if I got like 1,000 to 1,200 grit scratches on my paint job, then we have our Dyna Zero product. The Dyna Zero is going to go after that. It's going to remove those scratches. It's still not going to give you a deep polish. Again, it is like a first step cutting. You're going to have a haze in the paint, but you're going to remove the scratch.
Dynabrade has half a century making revolutionary tools when it comes to surface prep. They also have revolutionary compounds to work with that in concert. You can find everything at dynabrade.com. The Nissan GT-R makes 565 horsepower right out of the box, which makes it one of the world's great performance vehicles, but that's not enough for the PRI show. This GT-R makes over 2,200 horsepower with that twin turbo engine, low 7 seconds in the quarter mile. Just take a look at that custom fab work and the beautiful turbos on there. This thing is stunning. More race cars and go fast gear when Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, returns from the PRI show in Indianapolis.
Motorhead Garage's coverage of the 2023 PRI show, presented by DragonFireTools.com, is brought to you by RockAuto.com. All the parts your car will ever need. CampbellsCustomCare.com, home of the Dawn Detail Spray. And by PaintedAutoBodyParts.com, the leading U.S. auto body parts online store.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, is back at the Performance Racing Industry Show from Indianapolis. Folks, you know that fire is the monster that's lurking out there on the racetrack, and frankly, it's the monster that's lurking out there everywhere. You know, we know about the loss of life or the injuries that fire can cause, but think about it. You could lose everything you own in just a couple of minutes. It's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to take a lot of time to replace it. And that's something that folks really don't think about, Joey, until it's too late. So how can you at Trinity Performance 333 protect people's belongings and their lives?
Yeah. Well, I've been in the fire safety business for 12 years now, and we've got a lot of different applications of things that we can do. We've got it in a simple plastic tubing, and we've got aerosol cans. We've got a lot of different delivery systems. Most of the extinguishers that are on the market are an ABC dry powder that typically just takes the oxygen out of the air. With our product, we cool. So in order to have the fire triangle, it's heat, fuel, and oxygen. We get rid of the heat. There's no reignition of the fire and no cleanup mess with our products.
This sprint car that we're standing next to has one of your systems on it, the fire tube. How does it work?
So there's a liquid in there that when 300 degrees of temperature that hits this tube, anywhere in the tube, so the whole tube is a nozzle, it'll turn the liquid that's in there into a gas. It'll melt the tube about 1 inch and extinguish the fire by taking it from that 300 degrees down to -20 within a split second with no cleanup.
Believe me, Joey knows what he's doing. Who are some of your biggest customers?
We do stuff with NASCAR, NHRA, Monster Jam, World Outlaws, Lucas Oil. We're in all forms of motorsports. We take care of the track services that are coming to protect the drivers, but we also have our in-car systems that we provide for the racers themselves. So from top to bottom, we're a full fire solution specialist company.
How do folks get a system from you?
They can reach me at our website, trinityperformance333.com.
This guy's the expert, Joey Jive, the fire guy. He's your one-stop solution for all your fire protection needs. You can protect all your stuff, and you can protect the lives that matter to you. Check him out on the web. Comex has been around since 1961, making machines for repair shops all over Europe. They've made inroads into the United States, and now, man, the industry has been evolving. And of course, you're here at PRI because we're talking about rebuilding engines. This industry is always keeping up with new technology. How is Comex growing and changing with the industry and people's demands?
Well, Comex started out with the brake and cylinder head resurfacing line, and it's grown from there. That's what they started in 1961. So they have two separate lines. They have an automotive engine rebuilding line, and then they have a repair line with clutch and brake work. So here, showcase at PRI, what we have is the engine rebuilding line, obviously. Our premier machine is the AFC 200 CNC. We also have this in a manual machine. The CNC version started, I believe they started building these in 2016, and they've been trying to adapt and change and grow with the industry and the customer requirements since then.
This is a multifunction machine. What kind of things can it do?
So this machine will do both boring, surfacing. A lot of our customers have adapted them to be able to do O-ring, any type of repair work on any of the holes. As far as your head bolts, it'll also do cylinder heads. Guys will use them for doing O-ringing on cylinder heads. We got guys that can have used them for doing line boring operations.
How does Comex make this machine easy for folks to pick up and use the first time?
So the software is pretty basic. There's not a lot of programming or anything like that. Everything's pretty user-friendly. There's multiple ways to do this. You can either probe a cylinder and use existing hole points for your bores for your location once you know your bore spacing, or you can blueprint and literally put the exact dimension in of where you want it to be for a blueprinted block or so forth.
But this isn't all you brought to PRI. What else do you have for show and tell?
So obviously the premier machine is right here, our boring mill. We also offer a variety of surfacers in different sizes. We have smaller machines. We also sell seat and guide equipment, honing equipment, pressure testing equipment. We have line boring machine, LBM 950. We also have valve guide presses and assembly benches, valve grinder, and then seat and guide machines. We have a couple sizes of those too. So Comex has pretty much got the whole entire spectrum covered of machines that are available. So depending on if somebody's looking to just do an upgrade or if they want to do a whole shop and one stop, that's the way to go.
If you're looking for all that, high quality machines at an affordable price point, Comex US is your one-stop shop. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com, coming at you from PRI in Indy. See you in a minute. Sure, we miss the cozy confines of the Campbell's Custom Care Studio, but we love it here in Indianapolis as well. Welcome back to Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com at the annual PRI Show. Each and every one of the vehicles here at the PRI Show undergoes incredible stresses on the racetrack in the heat of competition. The technology is amazing, but Nikki, there's one technology that a lot of them use that's antiquated, and it's the Achilles heel of these race cars. What is it?
Well, it's traditional worm gear clamps. So because they only tighten from one side, they're not custom, so they have to try to make do with them. Round fitting, round hose clamp makes it oval.
And why does it do that?
Because you're tightening from one side of it, plus two, you're trying to make this fit onto something, because these hose clamps don't come in custom sizes. They're all one size fits all, so you have to actually make it fit on there. The stress alone from these engines are vibrating this loose and causing it to blow off.
So what's the solution?
Clamp tight tools. That's the solution. Our tool actually makes a custom clamp that is the right size every single time. So no vibration with these clamps. Once it's on, it stays on. So you don't have to worry about retightening or taking it off and putting another one on because it's failed. This one, once it's on, you're good to go.
And how does it make a seal?
So it actually, you tighten the wire. It's with a push-pull motion, kind of like a gear puller that actually tightens it around. And it causes it to equal pressure all the way around on the seal.
How many different sizes of wire can you use, and what are the different applications?
Oh, you can use size wire from 24 thousandths all the way up to an 0.4, depending on which tool you're using. Majority of the time, it's going to be like a 22 gauge to like a 16 gauge is what most of the car guys are actually using.
The clamp tight tool has so many different applications, but for the bigger applications and smaller applications, you have different clamp tight tools, and now that's in a kit. So what'd you bring here to PRI?
Our big kit is what we're calling this. So it has every single tool we sell and every roll of wire that we offer. So this kit will do, like I said, wire size from actually a 0.19 on that mini tool all the way up to an 0.4. This is our big kit. This is brand new. It's going to be on our website.
I am here to tell you this is one of the busiest booths we've seen here at PRI, and with good reason. Folks here are seeing the clamp tight tool and how it works. You're going to love it too. Find it at clamptighttools.com. For 102 years, the place to go for timing components has been Cloy's, and it still is. They keep evolving. Now, Cody, you've got stuff for the Gen 5 Chevy engines. These things are bulletproof, but they've got an Achilles heel. What's the problem?
Yeah, so the biggest product we're trying to promote this year is the GM tensioner elimination kit for the Gen 5 engines. The tensioner is prone to failure, so our kit uses a billet 5-keyway crankshaft sprocket, which has 4 degrees of positive or negative adjustability, and it's slightly oversized, so it takes out that initial chain slack and completely eliminates the tensioner.
What else are you doing at Cloy's to get the most out of our vehicles?
Like always, we're here promoting our Hex Adjust products and our quick button timing cover, the stuff that we've had for years and years.
How do you folks at Cloy's ensure that you're getting quality products coming out of that factory?
We've been in business for 102 years. We're manufacturing all our high-performance sprockets and gears in Paris, Arkansas. Guys care about their job and do a great job down there.
What makes timing components from Cloy's different and better than everything else that's out there?
Well, we're first to market on a lot of products like this, and we've been doing it for 102 years. It's what we do. It's all we do, and we're going to keep doing it for the next 100 years.
Find them on the web at cloys.com. Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, returns from PRI next.
Motorhead Garage's coverage of the 2023 PRI show is presented by DragonFireTools.com, industrial workbenches with integrated tool storage, and brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. Mega Mike's Adventure Products, optimizing the outdoor adventure. Jamo Performance, optimal flow, better sound, bolt-on design. And by Mouse Blocker, protecting your vehicle from little things that cause big problems.
Len from AMSOIL. Would you ever dream of building an engine and not putting any motor oil in it?
Not unless I wanted to build 2.
Absolutely. Welcome to this AMSOIL Tech Tip. It's all about the assembly lube, and the best thing we can do is actually demo it for you. Got this old engine over here. You wouldn't do it on this engine, but it's a good way to show it to you. Here's a cam bearing right here. So Len, if you give me a little assembly lube, what we're doing is we're actually putting a coat of oil in between the bearing and the camshaft, because we don't want any dry starts. That's the bottom line, and that's going to do the job right there. Why do we do that? Well, you can look right here. You actually see these oil galleries. They're going around the whole engine, and the oil has to be pumped through there to lubricate the bearings, and there's all the bearings. There's all kinds of bearings inside that engine, Len. You got a phenomenal product to build an engine with. Tell me a little bit about it.
Right, and the reason this product was designed is because everything that you were talking about there, it takes some time for that to happen. So the engine could be running without oil pressure. So this product is designed to come in there and provide protection until the oil gets there. So there's a couple of neat features. It's got a real high viscosity base oil. It is synthetic, so it does move pretty easily when we go ahead and apply it to that bearing. But there's also some tackifier in there that's going to help hold it in place. That's that sticky stuff where you get those strings between your fingers.
Yeah, and you can see that. Now there's a fine line. It's not dripping off of there, which is a good thing, but you don't want it like glue either.
Exactly. You want it to stay in place, but only until the engine, the pressurized oil gets there.
Now, you guys have break-in oil, kind of helps with that. Talk a little bit about the break-in oil. Why do I want to add that, and what happens to the assembly lube after that?
Well, that assembly lube is designed to get out of the way as soon as the pressurized oil shows up. Our break-in oil also heavily additized, designed specifically for engine break-in, so they're designed as a system to work together.
Absolutely. So you want to use them both so your bearings don't end up looking like this. That's not a good deal. Make sure you use the assembly lube and the break-in oil. Go to their website. Make sure you check out those products and so many more.
We found our PaintedAutoParts.com Motorhead of the Week in the concourse at the PRI show, motorsports artist Ed Tilrock. Ed's work is impeccable. He says capturing the true essence of the sport is everything.
And I like to get the excitement, you know, get the energy going on the car, and I take a lot of photographs, have a lot of reference, but I'm also a gearhead. I've built cars, painted cars, raced cars, and it's important to me to get it accurate, get it right. People know cars. They know what they look like. They know what wheels look like, and if they're not the right shape or the right perspective, they're going to spot it. So I like it to keep it real.
Ed Tilrock is a motorhead, a true gentleman, and my new favorite artist. We are proud to make Ed the PaintedAutoParts.com Motorhead of the Week. Over the last 40 years, just about every innovation in the world of racing torque converters has come from Neil Chance Racing. And they've got another new innovation, a world's first here, the first titanium converter here. This thing has been the star of the internet. You guys broke the internet with this. Tell me about this, and what was the development process like, and what has it been through already?
Well, it's something we've been dreaming about doing for about 15 years, but when we first looked at doing it, it was so cost prohibitive. It was going to be around a $50,000 converter. And we just thought, you know, the market just isn't going to hold that. We worked really hard. We've got that down to where it's a $25,000 converter, which is half the original cost, but it's still a hefty price for a torque converter. But amazing isn't cheap, and that's exactly what that thing is. It's amazing. There's only one in existence, that one right there. We tested in Steve Morris's world-famous station wagon. This thing makes over 5,000 horsepower, twin turbo, SMX motor in it. First, we ran it on his dyno, his hub dyno. And it put significantly more power to the hub than his original Neil Chance converter. That was a huge improvement. Then we took it to the racetrack to see how it would perform. He couldn't keep the front end on the ground. What a 109 60-foot at something like 3,800 pounds or something crazy. Even we were surprised with the incredible performance out of this all-titanium torque converter.
You can have all the power in the world, but it's worthless if you can't get it to the rear tires. Get it to the rear tires with a converter from Neil Chance. They are the first and last name in racing converters. They're at racingconverters.com.
You know, you find some of the neatest cars roving around here at the PRI show. How about a tribute car to Ed Iskandarian, his original 23T. This was built as a salute and memory to that. Look at that beautiful leather interior right there. They did a really nice job recreating this. The thing I like the most, though, up here are the velocity stacks. This is what fuel injection looked like back in that era. And Ed did a great job. By the way, if you're not familiar with Iskandarian, you probably know him more for Iski cams.
In dirt track racing, there's always one constant. It's the centrifugal force, the G-loading when you go through the corners. And in recent years, those chassis have been built to twist and bend, which means those cars get all racked out of shape. And Eve, that is great for traction, but it affects the engine adversely. What's the problem?
Well, the problem is right in the apex of the corner where the most force is. It creates a big sort of called bog, and the engine just stops working for a split second, which can cost you lots of position in your time trial event.
And here's why it would bog. In a carbureted engine, the bowl would be out here, and that's where the fuel is. You go into the corner, and as the car racks, of course, that means your whole engine tilts, and all the fuel spills out this way to the outside. Well, you've solved the problem here, and this is called the fuel sider.
Yes,
and how does it work?
Well, the fuel sider is much like a straw that would suck the fuel right beside the right-hand side fuel here. This little jet is one inside, so as you turn this big G-force, it'll suck right in, and it won't affect the engine itself. The engine will not have any hesitation of nothing.
This isn't your only innovation. You've been at this for decades. What else did you bring here to PRI?
I brought this carburetor spacer called the X602. It's a very nice piece. It's made for 602 crates, which is very, very popular in the dirt track world, and it improves torque without losing any horsepower. It is one of my pride and joy.
One position on the racetrack can cost you a fortune. Here are simple solutions at an affordable price. You can find them at LaFrance Performance, and they're on Facebook. Well, that's the checkered flag, at least for this part of our visit to Indianapolis. Hey, we're taking next weekend off so you can enjoy New Year's Eve, but come back January 7th for even more coverage from the PRI show. Happy holidays and Happy New Year from all of us here at Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com. We'll see you next time.